Hello and welcome to 401k University Class 101. When is enough enough? I am your host, Stephen Lorio. Now that we know the purpose of a 401k, we can discuss what a 401k needs in order to be successful. Here is our agenda. Success defined, working with your 401k, 401k and the car, a parallel, the general rule of 401k, advanced 401k planning, and then to recap. Section 1. Success defined. Even with all of the advantages of a 401k, it cannot succeed without you. For a 401k to be successful, it must have helped set aside a pool of money large enough for you to pay yourself a paycheck for the rest of your life when you reach retirement, so that you can enjoy a comfortable retirement of life and leisure. If the 401k did not help set aside a pool of money large enough for you to do this, it wasn't successful. What then does a 401k need from you to do this? Let's take a look. Section 2. Working with your 401k. To grow and succeed in its intended purpose, a 401k needs regular contributions from you to fund it. Your employer will help make this really simple. To fund your 401k, your employer will help you by splitting up your paycheck on your behalf. Instead of all of your paycheck coming home to you, a small portion will be sent to the 401k and the rest will come home to you. The 401k lingo for this is defined next. Contribute, verb, the act of funding one's 401k by allocating deferred portions of one's annual income to the 401k. Contributions, noun, the deferred portions of one's annual income allocated to fund one's 401k. Defer, verb, to put off receipt of a portion of one's annual income for the purpose of receiving a greater benefit from the foregone portion in the future. Deferrals, noun, the deferred portions of one's annual income. As an example, Saver Steve is participating in his 401k at 10%. This means he defers 10% of his annual income to contribute to his 401k. His deferrals become his 401k contributions. Finally, for this section, an important note. It's important to note that all of the money contributed to your 401k is still yours. Your employer is simply following your instructions on what to do with your money. If ever something comes up and you have to part ways with the company for whatever reason, all of the money that you contributed, along with all of its growth, and any portion of your employer's contributions you've earned along with any of their growth, are all yours to take with you. Section 3. 401k and the car, a parallel. In a lot of ways, a 401k is like a car. In order for a car to take you somewhere, it needs to have gas, or fuel cells or electricity, but for simplicity, we'll stick with gas, in its tank. Your contributions are to a 401k what gasoline is to a car. Without contributions, a 401k cannot take you anywhere. The question then is, how much gas does a 401k need? Knowing the answer to this question, and then having the discipline to commit to this, will determine whether or not your 401k is ultimately successful. This can be a difficult question to answer, so first we'll look at a general rule, and then we'll get more advanced. Section 4. The general rule of 401k. The general rule of 401k is that you need to contribute 10% of your annual income to the 401k for it to be successful. To give an example, pretend Saver Steve receives $2,000 per paycheck before taking into consideration taxes. Following the general rule of 401k, Saver Steve would contribute 10% or $200 per paycheck to the 401k. Now this may seem like a lot of your annual income. Several of you probably feel like your wallet is light enough as is, and that this isn't something you can afford. It's important to realize that contributing to your retirement is something you must do. If you didn't marry rich, and you can't picture the face of the person that is going to take care of you when you stop working, then look in a mirror. In order for you to enjoy a comfortable retirement of life and leisure, contribute to your 401k so it has enough gas to take you where you want to go. Remember that there are only two alternatives to a comfortable retirement of life and leisure, and neither is necessarily pleasant: working until you drop or not being around. Section 5. Advanced 401k planning. The general rule of 401k is very broad. It is premised on research from several areas, taking into account many variables about age, employer matching, and giving a broad approach for mass use. As such, some of you may be looking for more depth on this topic. After all, being told to save 10% may be a tough pill for some of you to swallow. To learn how to customize this rule to your own situation, or for more on why this is the general rule, continue to our advanced class, Class 201, the Private Pension. To recap, the most important factor in determining the success of your 401k is your contribution to it. Remember, a 401k is like a car in many ways. It needs contributions like a car needs gas, and without gas, a 401k won't take you anywhere. Thank you for your time and attention. Our next class in this series is Class 102, Investments. Basics, Intermediate, and Advanced class attendees should all visit this class next. We hope to see you there.